Hey, come here for a minute. No, seriously, you need to hear this. Everybody out here talking about artificial intelligence like the only answer is more. More servers, more power, more land, more water, more giant buildings full of machines. Every time somebody says AI is growing, somebody else starts pouring concrete. And I have been looking at what Dr. Russell Thomas and Doc are building over at the School of AI Mastery. Let me tell you something. They are asking a different question. Not, can we build a bigger data center? We already know we can do that. The question is, do we need to? And before everybody gets nervous, let me make this clear. Nobody here is saying we do not need infrastructure. Of course we need infrastructure. The internet needs infrastructure. Phones need infrastructure. Music needs studios. Cities need roads. Intelligence needs somewhere to live, somewhere to move, and somewhere to do its work. But that does not mean every little question needs to travel halfway around the world, wake up the biggest machine we have, burn a pile of energy, and come all the way back just to tell you that you need eggs. Come on, now. That is not intelligence. That is bad routing. You do not call the whole orchestra to play one note. You do not bring a stadium sound system into the kitchen to hear the timer. And you do not need the most powerful language model on earth to make a grocery list. What the School of AI Mastery is saying is simple. Use the right level of intelligence for the work. Keep memory close when memory can stay close. Use smaller models when smaller models can do the job. Use specialized systems when the work is specialized. And save the biggest models for the problems that actually need them. That is not thinking small. That is thinking clearly. See, these are language models. Language is not just what we type into them. Language is part of the infrastructure. When an organization does not know how to explain itself, the machine has to figure it out all over again. Every time. One department calls something by one name. Another department calls it something else. The policy says one thing. The website says another. The employee handbook says something different. Then everybody wonders why the AI is confused. The AI is not always the confused one. Sometimes the organization never agreed on what it meant. So the machine has to rebuild the whole thing from scratch. Again and again and again. That takes compute. That takes energy. That takes time. That takes money. And eventually somebody says, we need another data center. Maybe. But maybe you need a shared language first. That is where federated glyphing comes in. Now, that sounds technical. It is not as complicated as it sounds. A glyph is a symbol with an agreed meaning, not decoration, not a random logo, not some mysterious code that only 3 people understand. A real shared symbol, one meaning, many places. The same glyph can appear in a document, a classroom, a workflow, an archive, a physical object, or inside the instructions given to a model. And every time it appears, the meaning travels with it. The organization does not have to explain itself from the beginning every single time. The people understand it. The systems understand it. The models understand it. The memory stays connected. That is federated glyphing. It is a way of helping meaning survive the journey. Then there is proximity memory. That means information should stay close to where it is needed whenever it responsibly can. Your household memory belongs near your household. A school's teaching history belongs near the school. A hospital's protected knowledge belongs inside the protected medical system. The specifications for a craft project belong near the people doing the craft. You should not have to send every memory into the clouds and ask a giant model to rediscover it. Sometimes the answer is already in the room. Sometimes the machine does not need to think harder. It just needs to remember better. That changes everything. Because now we are not building one enormous intelligence that has to do every job for everybody. We are building an ecosystem, local memory, small models, specialized models, large models, human judgment, shared language, clear routing, each one doing what it does best. That is what an intelligent system should look like. Not one giant machine doing everything. A whole architecture knowing what belongs where. And here's the part people are not thinking about. These data centers take years to plan, years to approve, years to build, years to connect to power. By the time some of these buildings are finished, the technology may not need what we thought it needed when we poured the foundation. We have done this before. There is old coaxial cable sitting inside buildings right now. There is fiber buried in the ground that may someday become a reminder of what we thought communication required at one particular moment. That does not mean the cable was foolish. It means technology moves faster than concrete. So before we commit 10 years of land, water, energy, labor, and capital to one idea of the future, maybe we should learn how intelligence actually moves. Maybe the first question should not be, how much can we build? Maybe it should be, what does the system really need? Does it need more power? Or does it need better language? Does it need another server hall? Or does it need memory closer to the work? Does it need the biggest model? Or does it need the right model? Does it need more data? Or does the organization need to understand itself? That is what Dr. Thomas and Doc are working on at the School of AI Mastery. They are not trying to stop the future. They are trying to keep us from building the future in the wrong order. First, orient, know what the system is for. Then formalize, give the meaning a stable form. Then optimize, make the work more efficient, and only then do you scale. Let me say that again. Orient first, formalize second, optimize before you scale. Because scaling confusion does not create intelligence. It creates bigger confusion. Scaling bad language does not create clarity. It creates faster misunderstanding. Scaling without memory means the system keeps paying to learn the same thing over and over. And scaling without judgment, that is how capability outruns wisdom. We keep asking whether artificial intelligence can do something. Man, let us assume it can. The more important questions are, should it? How should it? What level of intelligence should do the work? What should remain close? What should be shared? What should be protected? What should be remembered? And what should never have required a giant machine in the first place? That is the conversation. That is the work. And that is why you need to look at what is happening at the School of AI Mastery. They are not just teaching people how to prompt a machine. They are teaching people how to build a relationship between language, memory, judgment, capability, and responsibility. That is different. That is necessary. And honestly, that is a whole lot smarter than just pouring more concrete every time the system gets busy. So come take a look. Read the work. Study the images. Listen to the questions. See what Dr. Russell Thomas and Doc are building. Because the next great AI infrastructure may not be another giant building. It may be a shared language, a memory place where it belongs, a smaller model doing the right work, and a civilization wise enough not to use all of its power just because it can. Before we pour the concrete, maybe we should understand what we are building. The School of AI Mastery. Not every question requires a cathedral of compute.